Well, I'm still young, so but really going back, growing up, I had great memories. Typically, people who have say a urban sort of typical urban upbringing, they are perhaps not exposed to a variety of issues and people from different parts of India, which some may say is the real India. But growing up, I had exposure. I went to villages, I interacted, and somewhere.
And happened
perhaps,
because of your grandfather, Chaudhary Charan Singh? How
Yes.
do you look at this whole relation as a child and him?
Well, looking back, I was very young when he passed away. I remember that day when he was being cremated, the procession. I remember the rain. I remember small interactions with him where he would ask me. He taught me the Gayatri Mantra, for instance. Yeah, he would point out photo of Mahatma Gandhi and ask me, "Kaun hai?" He was very close with the family. So, and in those days, typically you had larger family gatherings. So every evening the family would come together. They would play tuk-tuk, talk about politics.
Okay.
Typical Indian household.
So do you think what you became finally has a lot to do with your childhood background and atmosphere that you lived in? So many people who would come to your grandfather and then to your father subsequently, Mr. Ajit Singh.
I think, yeah, somewhere the germs, I mean, the beginning of the process is perhaps can be looked at as in those days. The back of my mind, I must have motivated me at some level. And to be fair,
But did you think you'll become a politician?
yeah,
Were you sure?
See, to be fair, it's not as if my parents put pressure on me. My father said, "This is what I want you to do." He never sat me down and put any pressure on me at all. In fact, perhaps motivation came from within.
Okay.
I was working in the private sector. I quit that job and then I told my father, "This is what I want."
But wasn't this actually easier for you than many other who maybe struggle much more than you could have?
Of course, there's huge barriers to entry. Politics is not easy. It's not for everyone. It's not very democratic in that sense. So, and even the perception is such. It may not be as difficult as some educated young people think it is.
So how would you take that accusation that people maybe would hurl at, saying that, oh, it's all dynastic, it's easy?
See, it's fair, but in our Indian system, and not just in the Indian society, worldwide, if you look at it, people give some sort of value to, say, a generational value system. So people ascribe that because I am of a certain lineage, or I represent a certain name or identity or a history in Indian politics, that I will do my best to keep those traditions going forward. So they ascribe a certain value system to me.
And individually, does that become a burden or kind of severe responsibility on you?
It depends on how you look at it. It can be uplifting, it can be motivating, and like you said, it can be a huge platform. But at the same time, people will always measure you, and I know that Chaudhary Charan Singh, the things he did, that he accomplished, his motivation, the support he had, perhaps in Indian politics, those times have gone. But that's the expectation people have, that you will work like him, you will again create.
And then on to your father, Mr. Ajit Singh. Again, how did you look up to him and then, of course, followed politics as a career?
See, my father was, perhaps when he came into politics, didn't fit the mold of the typical Indian politician.
Because of the whole huge technical background also, he himself.
I mean, he spent a long time away from the country, he came back in. He had an Indian ethos. Growing up, we were completely Indian in every aspect. But being away from the political setup and coming back in must have been hard on him. I remember his padyatras, famous padyatras. He went to Lucknow, him coming back after a month. पैरों में छाले लगे हुए थे.